Hello everyone, and welcome to En Terra Noel. Today's reading, I wanted to ask your spirit guides, your higher self, your angels, spirit and source, what themes are going to be emphasized for you in the year 2025. The year 2025 will be a very potent year for all of us as a collective. Many of us already on the spiritual path have been feeling this expectancy for quite some time. Many people who are into astrology are noting that there are very significant transits that are happening this year that set themes for many, many years to come. So the themes that are present in your life during this year and the next few years to come are for all of us collectively the themes that we are working on and setting a foundation in to build the future that is ahead of us. So what themes are going to be emphasized for you, and what guidance can we get in this reading? Each of these piles I've already pre-shuffled some oracle cards that will help us understand these themes and some symbols that you can go and find further clarification and synchronicity on and messaging for you personally. I'll do all of the shuffling of the tarot for each pile live. And I wanted to start off before we pick our piles intuitively to go ahead and just make note of this card in particular. In shuffling all of the oracle cards for each pile, I chose from this deck, which is the Starseed Oracle deck. And this card came out, and it was very clear that it was an underlying message for all of the piles. So I wanted to start off with the intention that I have done the whole reading kind of in the understanding of, so that as you pick your pile, we can be aligned and the highest and greatest potential for you can be clearly communicated. So the Child of the Cosmos has come out, and it says the intelligence of the universe lies within you. And if you just see the card, the themes and the colors, these could be significant to you in some way if you're into the idea of color psychology. The Child of the Cosmos and the intelligence of the universe lies within you gave me initially a feeling of the people that are going to be drawn to this reading in particular are those that truly do feel aligned with the messaging of kind of connecting to the universe. Maybe you use that as a phrase like whatever the universe wants for me, or, you know, the idea of astrology, astronomy, the feeling of wonder and awe and kind of not having to put labels on things spiritually. This also resonates with me as you are definitely the type of person that can trust yourself to define your perspective on things that are mysterious, maybe occultism or spirituality. Your way of going about this life comes from an intelligence that you have within, an intuition that you've always been able to follow in this life. For those of you that needed that confirmation, or you wanted to maybe really know that this reading was going to be for you, this is for that extra confirmation. And as a generalized energy going into this, the intention is what is going to be specific advice for you. Even though it's a generalized reading, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So given that, let's go ahead and look at our piles. We have 4 piles today. Pile number 1 is going to be Labradorite. Pile number 2 is clear quartz crystal. Pile number 3 is a jade egg. And pile number 4 is amethyst. Take a deep breath. Choose with your third eye or your first instinct, your intuitive first card that you are pulled to. Pause the video if you need extra time to make that decision, and I'll see you guys in your piles. Hello, pile number 1. If you resonated with labradorite or pile number 1, then this is your reading about getting guidance from your spirit team, your higher self, the angelic realm, spirit, source. What are the themes that you are going to be focusing on in the year 2025? Like I said in the intro, these are the oracle cards that I have pre-shuffled off camera, but I'm going to be shuffling our tarot on camera. And I first wanted to start off with a couple of notes that I have about the energy, about this pile before we even get started. If you haven't already, I really encourage making sure that you're as comfortable as possible. If you have the opportunity to get really cozy or relaxed, I definitely encourage that now. If you have the ability to get something to drink, I am drinking my afternoon coffee, personally. So as we get into your reading, go ahead and take a deep breath if you need to. Take a sip of a coffee drink, a tea drink, some water, some juice. There's a lot of maintenance happening outside. If you can hear that, I am sorry. But for those of you that chose labradorite, the labradorite is associated with the third eye chakra. Okay, so the third eye chakra is going to be our intuition, our psychic abilities. I think that this pile also has a very balanced outlook in life, or a goal to be balanced, because labradorite is also used in sort of balancing energy in general. It's not known as a full cleansing one, although people can use any sort of crystals for multiple purposes. But the theme about labradorite is that it harmonizes a lot of energies around it. This pile in particular has a strong emphasis of honesty and balance. You have taken a lot of time to really seek the truth about how you feel about things, similar to the theme of this overall general card that came out as I was preparing for this reading in general, the child of the cosmos. I talked about in the intro how the intelligence of the universe lies within you, so you are somebody that has followed the path of a very sincere, authentic path that reflects who you are, a very sincere, authentic person. And that would definitely be reflected in sort of the energy of the labradorite being connected to that third eye chakra, that psychic energy, and a very strong intuition. There's an emphasis on the hanged man. I don't know if that'll come out in our tarot, but when I was kind of meditating on this pile in the beginning, there's an emphasis on a 180 shift in perspective. The hanged man energy in tarot talks about a different perspective, seeing things and sort of having a new understanding of something. This can be represented in simple truths, often are revolutionary when we can integrate them, and the great joy of life is relearning the same lessons over and over again and being able to find new depth in those truths. And this pile, you've already been working on shifting things. Maybe you haven't seen a physical manifestation happen already, but, or maybe you've seen lots of physical manifestations of things happening around you, but there's this one thing that has been taking a lot of time. And that time that you've been working with in this energy of trying to understand why or how or what else can I get from this? What else can I learn from this? How can I further let this thing go? How can I further understand and have clarity about something? And I know I'm being vague right now because this is just the sort of energy that I got as I was sitting with this pile. And I wanted to talk about that because wisdom knows true value. That's something I wrote down verbatim. Wisdom knows true value. And when I think about that, wisdom is not just logic. It's not just surface level conversations or knowledge about a topic. It is a deep understanding that is including sort of self-lived experience. So when there's a soul that has wisdom, or when there's a person that is truly wise, the phrase like wise beyond their years is something that happens for people that might often be labeled like an old soul. But wisdom is something that is able to know the true value of something, know the true value of self-worth, know the true value of taking time to build something, or knowing that, current circumstances don't always equal defeat or the end stop, etc. So you are a very wise person already. That's just like emanating from the energies that I'm connecting with right now. The other thing is that you're very detail-oriented, or you are about to become. So I felt like there might be two types of people in this pile, that like either you resonate with being extremely detail-oriented, or that phrase in and of itself makes you feel wildly inadequate, in the sense that maybe you know that you really do need an organizational attention to detail to accomplish something. Maybe that's something that you're having to work on, shifting that perspective about, maybe it's taking a long time for something to come in, but I am trying to see how I can better myself. Like, is there some way that I'm limiting this thing from being a realized manifestation in my life, if that makes sense? So there would come a lot of self-discipline, either that you already have cultivated or that you are learning. So this year is a theme of like being detail-oriented as well as self-disciplined. And from all of that, there is a big archetype of heroism in this pile. Like, you are a heroic, valiant, reliable person, as like a soul, as like a person in other people's lives. You are viewed that way by your team, by the universe, and by me. The energy that I definitely felt as I was sitting with this pile, shuffling your oracle cards, is that like there is a strong emphasis of you needing to know how valiant and deserving you are of all of the things that you are building. You're like a hero. You show up and like save the day is like the vibe. And maybe you show up for other people. Maybe you're learning how to do that for yourself this year. We'll go ahead and see what other themes come out with the tarot. So pile 1. What are the themes that your spirit guides, the angelic realm, your higher self, want you to know about for the year 2025? So we've got the 8 of Cups, let's go ahead and get 2 more. So the 8 of Coins, got a double 8. So yeah, you are a very hard-working pile. We've got the 10 of Swords. And oh my gosh, look at that. This is the Hanged Man upright. This is the Hanged Man reverse, and the Fool's directly underneath it. So pile 1, I'm not surprised that the Hangman reverse comes out for you, because we already felt that intuitively before we got started, and it's all about that perspective shift. Look at the journey that you are on. This is obviously some heavy and very deep themes coming up. Okay? So let's start with the first one, being the Eight of Cups. Okay? The Eight of Cups talks about walking away from emotional turmoil, from multiple disappointments. This pile has a lot of karma. Like you've been working on the perspective because you've been through it. Like, you know, and can relate to seeing so many different sides and perspectives from choices that people make and energy that is around you. And, you know, you have the wisdom of what not to do. You have the wisdom of what not to do and who not to be in your life, because you've seen so many experiences that have left you feeling empty emotionally, intuitively. People have gaslit you. You've been betrayed. You've been disappointed. And some of these cups are you. Things that you've done, mistakes that you feel like you've made. This is a lot of emotional reflection. And you have had the ability to sort of look at that from a different perspective. You're learning to see things that a year ago you would never have felt peace about. Okay? The reason that these themes are coming up is not to say your year is going to be chaos and pain and turmoil, but chances are that when these cards come up, you've already been experiencing this. You've already been dealing with emotional trauma, healing, pain, hardship. Like, that's just the energy that you're coming out of and that you're dealing with here. The Eight of Coins in this card, in this deck, is about having to do really difficult work, feeling like you are expanding the capacity that you have to even operate and function, and you have no choice. Like I was saying, like, the karma of this pile is like, you can't get away with anything. Whereas maybe others around you, like, genuinely, it's not like you're looking at other people and you're feeling unfairly like, oh, everyone else gets away with everything. They don't have to do all this stuff. They get all of these things without the hard work. Like, that's a narrative that Spirit is like bringing up that's true. You need to be reassured that the work that you've been doing is not for others, and what has happened to others around you is not for you, and there's a purpose behind this. The lore of this deck goes through multiple cultures all around the world and sort of injects the typical themes of tarot in with those stories. And this girl is actually working on rescuing her brothers from being transformed into these swans. So there's purpose, there's destiny, there might even be ancestral karma. Like, you might have had a lot of frustration around relationships with family in particular, just because of the cards and the themes that are happening. That doesn't have to be a thing, but the theme is that you have been working, you have been consistent. That self-disciplined energy that we got, that sort of determined energy, the detail-oriented, maybe you've like been forced to be hyper-vigilant in your life as a person. Independence and hyper-vigilance is often a trauma response where we don't even know how to ask for help or receive help from others. And we might be really good at helping other people. We might be really good at loving other people and really bad at loving ourselves and really bad at receiving love. So the themes of these cards, with the Ten of Swords being the very next card, I mean, super gnarly card. In general, the theme of Ten of Swords, okay, is just sort of like like mental anguish, anxiety, just like the narrative in your mind not matching up with the reality that's around you, having to be persistent despite surrounding energies around you, like feeling isolated in like others may but you may not kind of a thing. And that is the theme that you have been working on to change and shift that perspective. So what I feel for this pile is that while this is present, and we're going to get even further clarifiers and we're going to get further oracle cards, this is super positive. We have an 8, 8, 10. The double 8 might be significant as far as like angel numbers, if you're into angel numbers, and double 8 is associated with different types of themes in general. Here, let's just look it up really quick. Double 8, angel number. I know that 8 represents the infinity. It also represents, work and abundance, prosperity. So let's see. Double 8 is said to represent a variety of things, right? Integrity, inspiration. So we were talking about you being connected with this third eye and also being a very valiant character for people. And that is that integrity that you have. It also represents like luck, right? And financial decisions, manifestation. It's the infinity over the magician's head in traditional tarot. So that 8-8 is going to be confirmation for you of that you are absolutely, you have been on the path. You've been putting in the work. You've been doing a lot of unseen labor that might be emotional as well as actual physical, like you've been exerting yourself to the point of no return. You're done. This 10 of Swords is like you can't handle it anymore. Your mind is gotten to a place where you really need rest. You need healing. You need the balancing energies of the labradorite, and you need to be able to use your intuition, your specific perspective, to know the unique path that is meant for you, because you've been doing work that is meant for you that others may not understand or have to do. You've been disappointed and let down and discouraged and experienced loss, perhaps physical loss of people, jobs, circumstances, family members, etc. And it's caused you so much mental turmoil, but you have been working on seeing that perspective change. And this year, that's what's going to happen for you. The themes are you're going to literally see. You're going to see your own mind switch in front of you effortlessly. For anyone who's been through therapy, and I have been through therapy, there's these moments that are so revolutionary in our journey where the simplest realizations happen without effort because we're working so difficult in such difficulty for so long, especially people that are dealing with CPTSD, trauma, all kinds of reasons for needing to really work through things. It's difficult work, right? Taking a sip of my coffee. Difficult work to do emotional reflection and show up physically, especially if we are going through some things, Before I clarify with the tarot, I want to go ahead and see what we have with our oracle cards so far. We know that the themes are that you're going to see this like subtle shift in your perspective where you're just going to know the truth and feel it to be true. You know how sometimes they say fake it till you make it, or you say those affirmations over yourself until you finally believe them? That's definitely going to be happening for you. You're going to see the integration of true, genuine change in the way that you view yourself and the way that you believe the affirmations about yourself to be true, the things that are meant for you. Let's see your oracle cards. We have Jupiter. Okay, this is beautiful for you. Jupiter is definitely wisdom. We were talking about wisdom. It's expansion. it's blessings, it's abundance. Okay, that 8-8. There is abundance coming for you. And I do think that that's going to be an abundance of mental stability. Like, you're going to feel really mentally stable. And I know that that sounds maybe slightly offensive to some people, like if that's not something that you are seeking, but it is a very real and valid goal for yourself to want to feel stable emotionally and mentally, especially with this Ten of Swords coming in and the things that you have been working on so diligently that are so difficult, which is why you might have been one of the only people in your life actually pursuing those things and having the integrity to show for it. Okay, so Jupiter is bringing in blessings this year for you. These blessings are going to be surrounding your mental health and also the way that you have self-value, the way that you have self-love towards yourself, and the understanding of how hard you have worked. Like, really, like, kind of being okay and accepting that, like, you have been through so much and you can start to see the benefits of that in your emotional healing, your energetic healing, your mental state of being. Look, we've got water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. We were just talking about self-love. Maybe you live near, a body of water. Maybe you have the ability to take a bath or go to a hot spring or a salt spring or, a spa, something like that, where you can really be very intentional with the way that you are taking care of yourself. Hydration is important. There's a water reference here, and we're just kind of hitting on those themes because water is always so healing. It's always associated with healing and emotional well-being. We have nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. You are learning how to rest and replenish yourself, which makes so much sense given that it has been such a struggle, right? Given that we have Jupiter, a very slow-moving planet, this does not feel like super quick-moving energy. This doesn't feel like it's going to be like the start of the year and then you have something totally different in your realm. It feels like this year, these themes are going to happen in the perfect timing so that it is truly integrated and sincere within your awareness. Healing is a journey. Learning how to be tender to yourself after all of this is super important for you this year. So as you're learning to walk away and accept that it doesn't matter whether it seemed like it was fair or not in the things that you were required to do, that others were not around you, and the turmoil that it's taken on your mental health, you're not crazy. You're not isolated and as alone as it feels. You are a person experiencing this human experience, and all of those themes are very relevant. There are so many things happening in the world that are also very powerful catalysts for things that are happening for all of us in our personal relationships with our family and friends and the way that we relate to the places that we are in. Many of us are feeling like we needed to walk away, or you are getting ready to walk away from things that don't serve you, from people that don't serve you. You've known this. It's been eating away at you. And for some of you, this is letting go of the past, truly healing from a lot of turmoil. You have been working very tirelessly. You will continue to work. You will continue to put forth all of this effort, but you no longer have to feel like you're isolated in your mental journey. You're being expanded. You're having the wisdom integrated. That integration is helping you, in turn, be able to take care of yourself better, to see yourself better. The big picture is just really beautiful. This is that detail-oriented. We've got the flowers being like emphasized here, but flowers, especially these kinds, are very low to the ground. They're a small detail. But being in the bigger picture orientation, it's like you can see both. You don't have to hyper focus on the small details of getting through every single day or completing a project or feeling, burdened and overwhelmed. Your life is going to slowly start to feel less overwhelming, less burdensome, because you're learning how to cope and view things differently and access the inner knowing of how to really truly nourish yourself. The bigger picture also is allowing for space for forgiveness. These cards are really connected. The bigger picture, wisdom, and the Hanged Man, you have that perspective shift, right? You know how to zoom in your lens and zoom out in a way that when you're going through turmoil or disappointment or frustration, you know how to engage with it in varying ways, which is going to really, truly help you walk away from that experience. So I have an action card and a character card from a super fun game I found at a thrift store for my son. And it has characters of woodland creatures as well as varying actions within storytelling for children. And I shuffled for everybody. And I used these as a way of spirituality and woo-wooism. It can all be a little absurd. And I think a lot of times we have logic that gets in the way of us being able to sort of suspend our disbelief and believe in magic. You know what I mean? There's a childlike perspective truly to magic. And children always have a connection in every culture to the other side, other realms, other knowledge, and bringing in that sort of absurd playfulness into readings, I'm kind of obsessed with. I love going deep, and I love going a little bit light. We've got the Mellow Marmot. So speaking of being lighthearted, pile number 1, you are 100% focusing on how to nourish yourself, how to truly give back to yourself. You have had a lot of experience with other people and the perspective of the comparison of this is not how I'm going to be a partner when I show up in a partnership next time. This is not how I would do my business if I had a boss leadership position. This is not how I would treat my family members. This is not how, all of that. And now you're coming back to a place of really being able to focus on yourself and chill out. Chill your mind out specifically about how you view yourself. And the action card is Climbs the Tallest Tree. You're going to see how truly unique you are after you've been able to gain this perspective and believe it for yourself. You are going to be able to recognize how much you've grown and in many ways outgrown experiences, people, relationships. And you're going to be able to be at peace with it. Jupiter is expanding your wisdom. And every time Jupiter shows up, there is this acknowledgement to the karmic sort of you deserve these blessings and, you've been through so much and you've been initiated into something. We're getting some clarifying cards, some clarifying tarot. Like I said, with a lot of the symbolism, with falcons and raptors and swans, if any of sort of the cultural representation or color schemes stand out to you, some of the angel numbers that we're talking about, these are for you to be able to take and if you want to, if you feel compelled to, go and research what themes and messaging these specific symbols, like the marmot. What does the marmot represent? And if it shows up in your life in this reading and otherwise, like on a show, in a book, in real life, what kind of themes and messaging can a marmot, in addition to this message of being able to have mental peace and stability? We had a whole bunch of cards pop out, and we're going to take them. The bottom of the deck is the Seer of Shells, or the Page of Cups. So let's see how we clarify this message of the themes that are happening for you in 2025. The first card that came out in this whole bundle is the Peacock, the Illuminator, or the Star card. This is destiny. This is wish fulfillment. This is you've been praying. You've been working towards something, and it is written in the stars for you. You are definitely heading in the right direction. We've got that 8-8 confirmation there. You are at the end of a difficult, tumultuous mental health time period of your life. And whether that is you personally, or like I said, the people that are around you, that theme of mental health and mental stability is coming true. And we've got a lot of purple. We've got the Stork, the Ace of Feathers, which is the Ace of Swords. So this card I always associate with Archangel Michael. And this is also like truth, like cutting through any sort of, BS or lies or disillusionment about yourself or about what's going on. Like the truth is cutting through and showing up, and it is protecting you. Archangel Michael and the energy around Archangel Michael is very like no funny business, very intentional and a guardian, a warrior. He's associated with near-death experiences, and a lot of children and people have Archangel Michael in their awareness if they have experienced near-death experiences themselves. And it also represents heavily, like you are heavily protected. You're definitely protected. Your mind is protected. The things that you have learned, this new perspective shift, don't gaslight yourself. You do not have to gaslight yourself about the lessons that you've learned, about the wisdom and the leadership that is coming for you, the blessings and expansion within Jupiter. We've got Pelican, Six of Feathers. Okay, the Six of Swords. This is talking about safety. Safety in this transition. We just talked about that theme. You can trust that you are protected. You don't have to gaslight yourself. You know exactly that you are going to go from turbulent water to a more peaceful state of being in general. Okay, we have 3 birds coming out as well. We've got the peacock, the stork, the pelican. And then we have swans right here. So the theme of flight, freedom, we even have a penguin right here with like a message of hope, a message of new opportunities, maybe new understanding. But there's a lot of mental energy here and emotional work and physical expansion of like doing the most and feeling stretched and tired and misunderstood. And we have the serpent, the quickener, the tower. The universe sees, okay? Your angels, your guides, even your higher self knows the journey that you have been on has been difficult. The themes in your life have been heavy, but you have been self-disciplined. You have been listening to the intelligence within. It's now time to take care of yourself, okay? What's meant for you is not going to pass you by. All right, it's written in the stars for you. It's destined for you. You can trust the perspective shifts that you have. Seeing the bigger picture. That can literally look like you looking at your past trauma and understanding it differently. Feeling peace about grief suddenly, unexpectedly. And if you know, you know, as far as a healing journey goes. And this is going to surprise you. The way that Jupiter comes in, the way that the universe is coming back in to change things for you in such unexpected ways. Like I said, with this healing of this Hanged Man, often it just sort of happens. You've been working on it for so long, and you've been really like sitting in these feelings and analyzing your decisions and analyzing the decisions of other people. And as you learn to give back to yourself and accept the new perspective, the new wisdom that you have, it's just going to happen one at a time. This will happen in many different areas of your life because you've definitely been through a lot. So the themes of your year, pile 1, is to trust the journey that you've been on. Trust your intuition. Trust that you're safe on the path that you're on, that all of the decisions that you made up until now have been the right decisions, that you're exactly where you're meant to be. Don't look back and regret. Don't consider things a mistake. Learn how to accept yourself and love yourself more in this year. And you are going to find such mental peace and stability. And you're going to know exactly by the end of the year how to truly rest in a holistic body, mind, spirit sort of a way. So thank you so much for watching this reading. I hope it resonated with you. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified about new readings that are coming out. And if this did resonate with you, then I think it would be really awesome if you would let me know in the comments if there's anything in particular that stood out for you, or if you don't know what to say, this pile can go ahead and just put a yellow flower or a flower emoji in general in the comment section so that you can claim it and take that extra step outwardly and be like, yes, I'm going to go ahead and get these blessings, these themes of this new year. I am trusting myself. I'm going to walk that healed life and believe it and know it and see it. And it's meant for me. And I'm going to be able to rest and know exactly how to do that properly for myself, because everything is going to shift. So you leave that flower emoji. If you see flowers or birds, 88, or any of the animals that are here that you want to look into to find that further confirmation and messaging. And if you want to let me know in the comments, let me know. Thank you, Pile 1. I'll see you guys next time. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose Pile 2 or the clear quartz, then this is your reading, all about guidance that we can find from your spirit guides, your higher self, the angelic realm, source, and spirit. What guidance can we get about the themes that are going to be emphasized for you in the year 2025? As I said in the intro, I have shuffled the Oracle deck cards off camera, and we'll look at those in just a minute, and I will shuffle our tarot live. But I wanted to start with just a reminder that this was the main or underlying energy for the reading in general as I was getting started. And I have a few channeled messages as well. So I wanted to just let you know about that before we even get into the reading. This card, the Child of the Cosmos, the intelligence of the universe lies within you. It's going to resonate differently for each individual person as it's a general reading. So everything that I say, go ahead and take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But given that you are also resonating with the clear quartz, the clear quartz crystal is known as connection with the angelic realm, as a very heavy protection crystal. It is known as sort of a clearing energy or giving clarity to energies in general, like a very precise answer or communication, or like I said, energy. So people use it for manifestation, for protection, that kind of a thing. And it also kind of gives like that pure or that very clear, concise energy in general. So this pile is one that definitely appreciates a very direct and concise either instruction or line of communication. Maybe that's the way that you choose to communicate, in a very honest, sort of straightforward way. Or maybe you really appreciate, like I said, direct communication if it's like an instruction, a point of topic, that kind of a thing. Some channeled messages that I have for this pile is that like you really have like an architect sort of energy, an engineer, a designer, in the sense that you are somebody that sees your life sort of as a complete idea, and you like know how to build it. You like are ready to go ahead and put forth whatever your vision is. So you know how to design something from top to bottom. That's that architect or engineer vibe that I get. And there's sort of the energy of the magician card. I don't know if that's what we're going to get when we get our tarot. But when I was sitting with this pile, the energy of the magician of like learning your true power, learning how to identify your resources, learning how to sort of alchemize energy. You're learning the truth about your own power. So there's a sense of identity, like you're focusing on your identity, you're focusing on getting to know yourself better. Or here's what I wrote down. You are learning your true strengths and not just your survival skills. So this pile is one that has very strong survival instincts. Maybe you're very like responsible, organized, hardworking, type of a person, in the sense that like your survival skills are strong. You've got like common sense, or like, a lot of logic with the way that you do things. And a lot of times people who are strong in that way, who exude a lot of competence because they've had to as a skill to survive, because it wasn't being done for them by their parents, by their teachers, by their bosses, by the government that represents them, like their city hall or their resources, the ability to provide for yourself in whatever way that looks like. You've developed really strong survival skills, and often people will look at that and be like, oh, you're so talented, you're so skilled. But you actually have real skills beyond that. You have real talent beyond that. And you have been the pile that has had to be strong. You've had to be the responsible one, or you've had to have those strong skills, but you are in a season where you are learning this year, the emphasis for you are learning what your true strengths are and how to identify that. So that's kind of the way that you're focusing on your identity. There's also, you've gotten like the short end of the stick in a lot of different ways. That's just like the phrase that I got, like getting the short end of the stick. But what's meant for you won't hesitate to make itself known, make itself obvious. So whether that's like an opportunity that feels too good to be true, a relationship that feels like you need a lot of vocal affirmation and reassurance, what's meant for you won't hesitate to make itself known. So those are the things that I had before we even dive in. So why don't we go ahead and get some tarot? And just, I feel like I want to shuffle it again. We've got the Emperor and the World. So we've got some big, heavy, sort of karmic energy cycles, like life cycles, soul cycles, that kind of a thing. So let's go ahead and ask your spirit guides, spirit source, your higher self, the angelic realm. What are the themes for pile 2, with the themes of protection, being connected to angels? That wanted to come out, but it didn't. Learning their true strengths. What are the themes that you want to communicate to pile 2 about the year 2025? Oh. Okay. I don't always take all the cards that come out, but I'm going to this time. Okay. The bottom deck energy that we have is the Ace of Cups, which is just beautiful. So pile 2, we're already starting off with a very strong emphasis on a feeling of fulfillment. By the end of the year, you are definitely going to look back and be able to identify either that you have been fulfilled or that you know how to be fulfilled. You know what you to pursue, to prioritize, to get those things. I'm going to start off with these as they came out first, and then these, and we'll just go ahead and go from there. We've got the Six of Coins, the Six of Pentacles, and this is talking about sort of like an unfair power dynamic that occurs so often in this life, whether that be financially and resource-wise between you and your boss, like we were talking about, your parents, your whatever it is that you are getting your resources from. There's been a dynamic where you might have been in the position where you needed extra help. And the way that people helped you or didn't help you, the energy in which they operated when you were in need, right? We already talked about before we started this that you've had to learn survival skills. So there might be a theme here or an emphasis on you reversing that, where now you're going to have the ability to give to others in need and to know what you would have liked others to have treated you in that position of power. And again, this is also talking about in this particular deck, like those less fortunate than us. So she's kind to beetles. So this can talk about like morally themes of how you interact with groups of people that are less fortunate than you. Animals that are less fortunate, creatures, anything that has that dynamic of power where maybe there's something that you can do, maybe there's something that you can give. And often, even for the people who feel like they don't have anything to give, can be the most generous to people that have even less than them. So this type of a theme in general is going to be very present for my pile twos this year, where you're learning the dynamics of having excess or having enough or having more than enough, and how to be able to deal with that with people around you, how to be wise with that, and how to have the right energy moving forward. If you don't have enough, if you feel like you can still give generously to those that are in need, like, again, there's themes of like veganism, or Buddhism, in the sense that there are Buddhist monks that wear certain sandals that are made specifically not to harm beetles and bugs when they walk around, because they have the perspective that only God or, the highest being, source, whatever, has the ability to take away life and bring life and all of that. So it's like a respect thing. We've got the Knight of Swords as our next card. You've got a lot of themes of action, swift moving energy. The Hierophant, I'm just going to bring some of these out and then we'll talk about how they all relate to each other. We've got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and we've got the Sun in reverse as well. And I'm going to just talk about it in reverse, and then I don't like to read my cards in reverse because in my opinion, and often in my readings, when they show up at all, they're in your energy. This is potential. Tarot is not a prediction of exactly what's going to happen. It is a form of divination that uses energy and, specific sort of themes and archetypes and symbolism to architect, builds messaging, clarity. It's a spirituality practice. It can be for entertainment purposes. But in general, for me, when they show up at all in the reverse, I always read it and feel that it's meant to be read for me as something that is in your energy field. So it is going to happen, or it can happen. So it can be put in the upright when engaged properly or understood, or maybe there's like, once you get to this point, these things flip over, that kind of a thing. So it's energy that's present for you regardless of how it shows up. It doesn't mean anything negative. So we've got swift moving energy on ideas, communication, action, and we have the Hierophant. These are very conflicting, sort of opposite energies. We have the Hierophant, who is very still, very grounded, very connected to ancient wisdom, connected to wisdom in general, connected to, you know, being isolated and not having to be out amongst the people, whereas the Knight of Swords is, like I said, very action-oriented, has a lot of sharp inspiration and wants to communicate things. And so I think that because you have a 6, which is the balance of things, and then we have these two energies that are sort of balancing each other out as well, I think you have the ability to, like, again, shift perspectives, maybe go into both directions, choose when you want to be able to isolate yourself, ground yourself, surround yourself with like your own intentionality, like your home being a sacred space, or, you know, hiking or running or going to the gym or going to wherever it is, like the library, to find your little sanctuary space, your little moments for you, prioritizing the ability to relax in the intentional space that you're creating for yourself in your life, as well as being able to take action quickly on ideas and inspiration that you have. This means that you're not going to gaslight yourself this year, pile 2. You're going to know when to take action and when to find rest. There's a definite theme of balance here. When you learn that balance, when you get to a place, perhaps this is towards the end of the year, when you have been able to view this perspective of having enough and being able to give still, that generosity in general, of regardless of which side of this dynamic you fall on, being able to take action on your inspiration and moving quickly in a direction, as well as being able to successfully transition and be like a shapeshifter, like a chameleon. I'm getting the vibes of you being able to like successfully execute that like multidimensionality of your personality. All of us are multidimensional beings, but a lot of us struggle with switching the hat, compartmentalizing certain parts of ourselves or aspects of ourselves that need to show up. You know, when to be action-oriented and when to have self-care. These are difficult things to discern for oneself, and you are mastering that. That's the vibe that I'm getting. Pile 2, you are learning to master the ability to discern how to show up for yourself. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Strength card shows up eventually. The 9 of Coins is you being able to fully feel like you've provided the life for yourself that you want. You have all of the abundance that you need, and you're able to worry about things that aren't even related to the money thing. This could be entrepreneurship, and in that case, this is very interesting. You might have to borrow money, get a loan, right, to start a business, and there you're in debt, and there's like a different power dynamic of how you give your money and who you owe it to. You're going to have to take action on your inspiration. So if you feel inspired, if you feel like there's something you want to communicate, something you want to start, a business, that kind of a thing, you're rushing into action, you're utilizing your inspiration, and you're getting to it. And then, you know, you don't want to get burnt out, especially as an entrepreneur, or maybe if you're doing this as a side hustle to escape, feeling like you don't have enough money to provide. You're going to need to know how to pace yourself realistically and how to be sustainable in the new efforts that you add to your life and the things that you take away, that kind of a thing. And so if that is anything similar to what your life looks like, then just like a very sort of obvious reading is that if you feel called to be an entrepreneur or to pursue something to bring more financial stability into your life, or to allow you to feel like you can be more generous or surround yourself with more generosity in general, all of that kind of a thing. You're going to learn how to do that correctly. And that's what's going to make you successful, is that ability to look around and feel so proud of your life that you can focus on other things other than, remember when we were talking about survival skills and how good you are at that, and how you're going to learn new hobbies. This can also represent, like, instead of a side hustle, it could just be a hobby, and you're going to know what to put out. If, like, you're a painter, for instance, and you're making something, you're going to know what is meant for you to get better, what is meant for you to be therapeutic because you enjoy doing it, and what is meant to be public as a product, as a promotion. Bless me. That came on very strong, very fast. Just like the Knight of Swords energy happening right here. So yeah, you're also, if that's not like a physical, like you're starting a new job or you're trying to pursue a hobby, in general, the fruit of your labor, the life that you live, no matter what that looks like, if you're a stay-at-home mom who's homeschooling, you're going to be able to feel like you have enough to be generous to those that you want to be generous to, whether that's your energy, your time, your resources. You're going to feel like you know how to act upon your inspiration and how to take care of yourself. And that kind of sort of ability to build your life in that way, to be very intentional about your life, whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to look back on it at the end of the year and be able to feel like you're good and you can now pursue something even greater than that, like yourself, like your hobbies, like things that you're passionate about. The Sun card being reversed is also talking about like what you have to look forward to, right? Even when the sun sets, it rises again. So at the very end of the year, there's this big, heavy emphasis that you are going to be celebrating. Like, you are going to be absolutely enjoying your life and really excited about all of the things that you've been able to work through this year. We have the Four of Cups showing that you know that there's something more. We've already gotten that theme. Like, you know that there's something more that you want to do, more that you want to give. And that's what the Four of Cups is representing. It's got a theme of the universe knows that you want something more than what you have in front of you. And don't fall into the feeling of apathy in your life. You are working towards something, pile 2. You are on the right path and you are working towards something great that you're going to be so proud of and feel so happy about. So don't feel ashamed by feeling like there's more for you. It might just be right outside of your window. It might just be right on the other side of, you know, you being consistent with something. There's something on the horizon for you. Pile 2. Look at this. We have the Four of Wands. So this has like a little bit of wish fulfillment energy in it. It has a lot of like, I've been working on a foundation and now I have a home. Like, I've just built my home. Weddings, commitment. Maybe some of you are going to, you know, be able to take action on things that are helping you learn the balance in your life so that you can be able to financially feel comfortable to get engaged to somebody. That's realistic for some people. So there could be engagements this year. There could be marriages this year. There could be buying of homes, right? But just like from a metaphorical and energetic and spiritual perspective, the Four of Wands is stability. It's foundation. It's this Nine of Coins energy where you're looking around and you have everything that you need and you can celebrate that. And then we have the Queen of Coins, the Queen of Pentacles. And she is somebody that is able to provide for herself and others. I have some sensor paper just to be family friendly. So I want to go ahead and get a few clarifying cards in the tarot, and then we'll go ahead and get our oracle for pile 2. And we've got a pretty clear sort of message about the year to come, some themes that are coming up for you. Learning balance, being able to celebrate the stability that you've created, accepting that there's more for you, and sort of dealing with the ability to want more, to look for more. All right, pile 2. Let's get a clarifier on this. Let's get the 2 for here. Let's get 9 of coins and the sun. What themes can we talk about with our 9 of coins and the sun? Oh, you've got the 9 of coins again. I love that synchronicity. Bottom of the deck is the horse, or the spirit of freedom. This is also, I believe, the chariot in this deck. So pile 2, more information about this shift that's going to happen for you towards the end of the year, or when you really truly understand this energy of being able to celebrate the mastery of like knowing how to give and take, of how to make things happen, really. Because working too hard and going in one direction, it doesn't do anyone any good. You have to be able to build vertically as well as horizontally, have the foundation, have a roof. There's so many aspects and elements of like building, and you're mastering that. The 9 of coins and the sun is being clarified by the sea lion, or the 7 of shells, the 7 of cups. There are choices in front of you, okay? We went from the 4 of cups over here to the 7 of cups. You are going to know what is meant for you. You are going to know that something that you are longing for is drawing itself into your energy because it's meant to be. This 9 of fossils here, 9 of pentacles, showing up again as a clarifier. You are going to feel so accomplished. Whatever that means for you, if it's a new business, if it's a side hustle, if it's a relationship, a family, a new house, financial stability, like you are pursuing so many different things. And this choice of cups is not just because it's general reading and it's going to represent all of these different things for everybody who's watching it, but there are many of you watching this pile where the themes are going to represent themselves in multiple ways in your life. Like it's going to be getting engaged and starting your own business and being successful, building a house or buying a house and being financially stable. Like you don't have to pick and choose. Spirit is saying it's okay for you to want more and know you need more and know you deserve more. So let's look at these oracle cards and see where we're at with you. We've got Saturn. Saturn in astrology represents structure. It represents karma, time, boundaries. So a lot of the themes that you are already looking at right here, with this money, boundaries of knowing how to act when you need to act and when to rest when you need to rest. It's the physical manifestation of the Queen of Cups, this ability to show up consistently. It also talks about, like I said, time. So divine timing. Some of this over here is going to be about divine timing, not just work that you have to do for yourself, to prove yourself. Like I might not have made that clear, but that's definitely being emphasized here with Saturn. And there's like a karmic path too, right? So there's a lot of karma that you're dealing with. And I think it's going to come from this feeling of lack in your resources, in the things and experiences that you've had thus far, in the power dynamic of how people have treated you. You've seen a lot of karma financially. And it's like you, with this 9 of cups, 9 of coins, it is you working on this. This is not something that was given to you. This was not something that you knew how to do because it was emulated for you, Like, this is really giving me ancestral, familial, sort of, you're a black sheep, if that makes sense, with this Saturn and karma, because Saturn also deals with relationships with parents and stuff like that too. Okay, so let's keep going. Acceptance of love. Okay, so we've got kind of a double theme of relationships here. But I also think that love is so powerful, important, and it is represented in so many different ways, that it's not just in relationship between two people, but it's also in the way that we love our lives, love ourselves, love our friends, love the world that we're in. Attention to nature. I mean, this is ivy and a tree and an oak tree. And it's like a relationship being interconnected with nature. You might also find that you have a strong connection to nature. A lot of these themes that we have here, we've got 2 4s, so we've got 4 4. We've got 2 9s, 9 9. And so those numbers might be significant to you. Some of the animals that are represented, I think that's either a warbler or a canary. We've got an Arctic fox, horse. Over here we had a horse, a white horse specifically on the bottom deck energy here as well. A wolf, a sea lion, a snake, peacocks, birds in general. Ivy. These can be symbols that might represent even further clarity and messaging for you, Pile 2, as far as the themes that are going to be present for your life in 2025. And acceptance of love is giving me kind of like, I feel like you might, because of karma and Saturn being here too, you might have had to learn all of the bad that comes with love, whether that's from family or friends or romantic or even self-worth, that you have been experiencing themes of extremes within love, and that this year is that mastery of acceptance, of knowing that you still deserve more love from those people who are in your life, more love from yourself to yourself, more love from nature spirits to you. Sunsets and sunrises and moss growing on trees and trickling brooks and things like that. Let life romance you a little bit. Let your world be a little bit romanticized in general, Pile 2, and take what resonates, because there definitely could be an engagement on the horizon for some of you. The Cosmic Heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. Yeah, because of the heavy emphasis on Saturn, karma, and on understanding the themes of foundation, knowing that there's more meant for you. You are somebody that has already made your life a moving prayer. You already know that every step that you are making is for your highest good. You feel called, you feel drawn to this path in front of you. And the universe is experiencing your life as a moving prayer as well. You are devoted. You are powerful. That is a big part of the way that the universe sees you, the way that your angels see you, the way that your soul emanates in the world. There's also some pink flowers, like a peony is coming to mind. Roses, pink roses, orchids, and I was thinking orchids with the lily pads and stuff. Okay, breath of the cosmos. My will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. So because your life and your journey has been karmic, because you know what not to do and you have seen an imbalance of power or resources, etc., you've been building your life, you've been working so hard, and the divine is working with you. The divine, the universe, your angels, your guides, your ancestors, they have been working with you. You are not alone. There's a message of the micromanaging the universe, like you at time. Saturn is coming through time, divine timing. Don't micromanage your expectations of your manifestations, of the timing of things. Your focus and your goal right now is to really tap into your inner wisdom, pile 2, your intuition, knowing how to start and stop and when is the appropriate times, knowing how to love yourself and love others, and to recognize these symbols, these synchronicities that are occurring within your life, because they are meant to communicate like nothing but just the sweetest, encouraging messages for you to keep going, because you are so close to this 9 of Pentacles and the Sun. The thing about Saturn is that like you have to go through the most to get through Saturn's energy, but the rewards are bigger, right? The abundance is greater. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at some of these. I got some, again, I like the symbols of animals and just the silliness of engaging in whatever you want to engage in. Angel numbers or color psychology. You have a lot of blue, a lot of red, and then obviously there's green and pink and purple. But we've got a lot of green, a lot of blue, a lot of red. So if you're into that, that could mean something even further for you. This is just some fun ideas from a game that I found at a thrift store for my son. It has action cards and a character card. Okay, this character card of Talkative Bison, you are going to hear the messaging from other people in your life. Like people are going to reiterate this about you. People are going to be like, man, you just manage your time really well. Or like, how do you find time to be so like boss energy right now? Or people who are getting engaged, people around you are going to be like, I think it's a great idea. You really should go forward with it. This person and you really match. Like you're going to get verbal affirmation, verbal confirmation of a lot of these themes. You might be clairaudient in the sense that you feel like you hear messaging from your guides, your angels, and that can be through songs, song lyrics, conversations with friends, tarot readings like this on the internet. There's lots of ways that this affirmation is going to come to you, but the universe wants you to know that like there will be verbalized affirmation, and also that what you are speaking out loud to yourself is really powerful, has a lot of weight to it. There's tracks an odd set of footprints and gets carried away by a gust of wind. This gives me the vibe and energy of windfall of money, windfall of opportunity, windfall of success, being in the right place at the right time. The 9 of Pentacles energy might feel like you were following an odd set of footprints to get there. Like there might be this sort of theme of unconventional paths to get to your 9 of Pentacles, right? And I think that it's going to be a whirlwind. I think that this is going to be an epic journey for you, Pile 2, to start the year off knowing that you have this desire, this need, this longing, this lack, this, you want something more out of life. And as you're going in this direction, you're going to start seeing this physical manifestation of commitment, of stability, of celebration. And people are going to be verbally affirming you, letting you know Saturn is taking care of you. You are protected. And in divine timing, you are absolutely going to feel like this wolf, looking at your life and feeling just so internally fulfilled and satisfied with all of the things that you've done leading up to this year, as well as the themes that you are gaining wisdom in this year in 2025. So that's all that I'm seeing for you guys, pile 2. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Hello, pile number 3. If you resonated with the Jade Egg or pile number 3, then this is your reading about guidance that we can get about the generalized themes that will be emphasized for you in 2025. So I wanted to talk about the jade specifically has themes that are associated with it that might be relevant to your pile before we get into our tarot and our oracle, as well as a few channeled messages that I got while resonating with your pile. Hold on, let me turn off my fan. Sorry about that, pile 3. So I wanted to get into some of the themes that are around jade, as well as a few channeled messages that I got while meditating on your pile before I shuffled the oracle cards. And like I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to definitely be shuffling tarot on camera for you guys today as well. The jade is normally associated with the energy of harmony as well as like virtue. It's also known as being connected to the idea of eternity. So very long-lasting legacy, longevity vibes. It also has been known that when it is struck, it produces like a harmonious frequency or vibration that makes sound. That is thought to be very clearing, very cleansing, and again, sort of harmonizing the energies around. So with that being said, some of the channeled messages that pertain to your pile, the energy around these themes are things that are happening right now for you. In the very beginning of this year, whenever you're watching this reading, the energies and the themes that we're discussing are coming in very soon, or like you're going to be seeing them happen very quickly in general. You are somebody who has like a leadership ability to you. There's leadership, royalty sort of. When I think about jade, I think about dynasties. I think about it being used in sacred sculptures in Chinese culture and in that correlation, there's like an energy of a very like broad-shouldered leader vibe, if that makes sense. Just energetically, I sense a very solid person. So you are a very solid person. The energy that you are entering this year into, the energy that you are in while watching this reading now is very solid, very grounded in general. So with that being said, I kind of feel like I want to go ahead and get into your oracle cards first. So let's go ahead and start with the astrology. So the main theme in your life, pile 3 in 2025, is the theme of Capricorn. The themes within Capricorn, astrologically, first of all, I have 7 planets in Capricorn. I am very familiar with Capricorn energy. It represents hard work. It represents loyalty. It represents karma, ruled by Saturn. If you're a Capricorn, then you know. If you're watching it in real time, this is being released in Capricorn season. So given that we have Capricorn present, and there's this leadership quality, this groundedness, this is really in tune with the green energy as well, the earth. It's the element of earth, Capricorn is. And that hard work is maybe a theme that you're experiencing this year. You are in a season where you're really having to put in a lot of work But Capricorns are the sign that not only is fine with hard work, but it enjoys hard work. It's a very goal-oriented sign, a very accomplishment-oriented sign. So hard work is necessary to accomplish a lot. And when you put in hard work, you potentially receive more benefits, more accomplishment, more success. So maybe this is a year for you that is of a lot of hard work and a lot of accomplishment, a lot of goals being checked off. That might be something that you're working on, writing down specific lists, being organized, working on hard, tasks, being self-disciplined, that kind of a theme. Let's go ahead and see what else we have. We have inner truths. So this card, to me, is always associated with the idea of inner earth. There's a lot of lore around inner earth in general, if you wanted to look that up or go down that rabbit hole, so to speak. This card is showing me options, right? You've just gone on a journey. You've entered into this space, and there's multiple realities, multiple different doorways and paths to take. You are in a place this year where you are having to acknowledge the path that you've been on and how hard you've worked, to know that you have choices ahead of you and you are the one making your future happen. You are the one making the decision to go down the path, as opposed to being thrust into an experience in life that you just have to deal with and get through. The hard work that you're putting in is a choice. You are choosing to go down the path that you want for yourself, and you're willing to do the work to do that. Let's see what else we have. Defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting. With Capricorn and Saturn being the ruler of Capricorn, I 100% feel like you've definitely been dealing with some really difficult karmic relationships. That's a theme for a lot of people and several of the piles already, of this emphasis in people hurting you, people wronging you, and the decisions that you've had to make despite of that, being the bigger person or walking in forgiveness or setting boundaries and walking away. That's represented in this boat, this journey that you've been on water. Emotions are tied to water, and spiritual, deep subconscious truths, the shadow, all of those types of things, healing is associated with water. So you are coming out of a feeling like you're defenseless, like there's nothing you can do to prevent this pain that you've been walking with in this experience. Let's go ahead and get some tarot to see what we can find out about the themes for pile 3. We've got the Queen of Coins. Oops, there we go. I just had to do the censor for her really quick. Let's get 2 more. We're going to take the Sun because it flipped, and we're going to get 1 more. Oh, that one came out. We've got the Page of Coins. So, pile 3, and the bottom of the deck is the Fool. You are definitely in control of your life. You are definitely at this point where you can make the decisions for yourself, what you actually want out of life. The path that you're on doesn't always have to lead to the next opportunity that leads to the next opportunity that leads to the life that you've always wanted. Often we see life that way, and often that's true, where it's a step-by-step process, especially with Capricorn. It's a slow-moving energy. But we've gotten this sort of messaging that, you've been in that, and that this message, the timing for this message is the now. If you're watching in real time, it is Capricorn season, like I said. And so the now is that you are taking steps and making decisions based on where you want to go. You get to decide the most immediate path in front of you, envisioning that future and walking towards it in a more realistic and physical way than you ever have in your previous experiences leading up to this. We have the Sun, the happiest card in the entire deck, talking about like really illuminating the things that make you feel alive and make you feel excited about life. And given that we have leadership energy, we have Capricorn and that karma of maybe relationships that have been really difficult and deepening of pain and deepening of that feeling of grief and loss. You are doing something with that. You are choosing a new path. We've got the Fool under the deck. You are going in a new direction, and we've got the Page. You are starting something physically. It's going to be a physical manifestation for you. This Queen of Coins, this Page of Coins, the Sun, your life is going to feel lighter, happier, like you're able to pursue the things that you want to. You don't have to go the roundabout way anymore. You can make the direct choices and align yourself directly with what it is that you're seeking. So let's see quickly. We have an action card and a character card from a game I found at the thrift store for my son, just to get some fun little extra messages about some symbols. We've got Finds a Surprise and a Tree Hollow, and Clumsy Fox. So foxes are normally known as being very clever, very quick, and there's often, when you find a surprise in a tree hollow, I'm thinking about like a little nest full of baby fuzzy creatures, personally. And, or, like the idea of a woodpecker having to get into the hollow of a tree because there's food sources there for him. Something is there for you that you've been working on and you're able to see now in something that was concealed. An inner truth, the cave being, emblematic of this sort of circle, the hollow of a tree. You are finding your inner truth, the real truth about what is going to make you happy, the things that you can control, the things that are in your control. You're going to feel empowered to make those decisions, to be in control of those decisions. And the Clumsy Fox is making me think of like you're going to see through the BS of something or someone, and maybe that even is yourself, like where you can acknowledge that you don't want to be sly, that you are ready to embrace the fact that life is clumsy and absurd, and we're all just doing our best. And you've learned that from seeing how other people interact with life, and you've accepted the absurdity. That's what I've been using these cards for, is like throwing the absurdity into our spirituality, because all of life is absurd, really. And all of these symbols are made up, and the idea connecting to the inner intelligence of you knowing what's going to resonate for you and what path is for you is that you get to decide the meaning of things, right? And so this could be you like seeing through other people that have maybe seemed intimidating or cunning or sly, the ones that have betrayed you, the ones that have hurt you, the ones that you've experienced these themes with in the past, and now you're able to see through it. It's like an irony of seeing someone who maybe felt cunning and sly now look clumsy to you because you have the wisdom to call them out. So it can mean lots of different things. We can see where we're being clumsy and accept ourselves. We can see where other people maybe are stumbling in trying to hurt us or limit us. And there's something about a treasure. This cave is full of like crystals, and this cave over here looks like it's glowing with like sort of gold. You've got like a snowy forest and a rainforest and space. Like you have so many options. Pile number 3. And I think this year's theme is that you're going to be able to recognize when people are going to be able to come into your life and try to hurt you or disrupt, maybe people who are not meant for you. The karma that you've learned with this I'm sorry card, and the fact that you are able to start with new energy this year with that Fool and the Page of Coins. The physical element of your life is going to feel like you're finding surprises, like you're finding the treasure. You're able to feel fulfilled and happy. I want to get some clarifying cards with our Spirit Animal Tarot to go along with the themes of maybe falcons or reindeer, crystal caves, foxes, cows are significant to you. The cow is the Empress. Yeah. I think you're ready to receive. You're fertile. You are ready to expand your life, accept what is coming to you. You've been through some difficult lessons, some karmic lessons, and you're ready to find the treasures in the hollows of the trees. You're ready to make the decision of what direction you want to go in. You're ready to take control of the things that you can and know that your happiness is truly up to you. You're starting something new, a habit, a job, a new belief system, and you're ready to receive the wisdom and the blessings that come with that. Let's get one more for pile 3. Any last guidance about the themes that are occurring for them in 2025? This one wants to come out. This is the Queen of Swords, the ibis, the nurturer of feathers. So ibises might be significant to you. But the Queen of Swords with the Queen of Coins coming in, it reflects that you are somebody that can speak your truth. Your inner truth. You can trust your inner truth, your intuition. You can trust that you are and have harmonized things in your life. You know better than anyone else for yourself what is right for you, and you're willing to receive what you deserve. And that is amazing. Pile 3, you are ready to receive what you deserve. You know what you deserve. You know how to speak to yourself. You see yourself in the Empress position. You can speak your truth. You can control your life. You've got the coins. You've got the resources. You're a hard worker if you need to be, but you're doing things that make you happy. And you're able to make that choice because you're listening to yourself. You're recognizing where either you've made little oopsie moments and that it's completely fine. So there might be an anxiety thing about choosing which path you want, but you've never steered yourself wrong, even if you've had oopsie moments. And you're also able to discern between people that are going to start to look silly to you instead of feel intimidating or scary or like you can't escape them. That resonates for you guys. And then, yeah, of course, we have the bottom deck energy, which is the 2 of Cups, the dolphin. Dolphins also might be significant to you. Any of this symbolism can offer further synchronicity and messages, like I said. But you are aligning. You are truly aligning to what you want in life, and you're able to make the choice to go forward in it, to make that new choice, to choose that new path that's there for you. You are aligning to that, and you know what you deserve. You're going to receive the things you deserve. You know what you deserve because of the Capricorn and karma, the relationship element of really feeling the depth of what consequences are actually aligned with our actions. So you know what you deserve. You know how to treat others well. You've got the Queen of Coins. You've got the Queen of Feathers. So pile 3, I'm really excited about your year ahead. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if any of this resonated with you, let me know in the comments, or give me a dolphin emoji, or maybe a feather emoji. That way we know that you chose pile 3 if you don't know what to say, or if you want further like affirmation and confirmation from an action of yourself. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Hello, pile 4. If you resonated with the amethyst or pile 4, then this is your reading, all about what guidance can we get from your spirit team, your spirit guides, source, your higher self, about the themes that are going to be emphasized for you this year. I wanted to start off with a few channeled messages that I got while I was meditating on your pile, when I was shuffling the oracle decks, and when I chose the amethyst for this pile as well. Amethyst has some themes around it that are generally associated with, the energies of amethyst, and I wanted to share those with you. Some of the themes that people associate with amethyst is royalty. So there's a theme of the purple color and how that is normally associated with, royal families or royal crests, things like that, as well as power. So it's a very powerful crystal that people use for, emphasizing spell work, manifestations, sort of supporting energies to kind of boost it, as well as it's a very healing crystal. So specifically emotional wounds, things that are traumatic to talk about or to feel or experience. Amethyst is used as like a cleansing and healing crystal as well. So some themes for you that might be coming up in 2025 are themes of reclaiming your power, knowing about how to embody yourself in true self-worth, because the word power has such a negative connotation for so many of us based on what we've seen in this world, the corruption of power and the temptation of greed, those types of things. And when we reclaim our power, it's important for us to be grounded in self-acceptance and self-value. And that is also associated with being a good leader or having the responsibility of royalty, if you resonate with that. As well as the deep healing that can occur from somebody who is really willing to do the emotional work, because it is so difficult to do. Many of us avoid working on emotional healing. And so being drawn to amethyst is your spirit guides and the universe kind of acknowledging that these themes might have already been present in your life, and the things that you're going to experience in this year is really feeling healed, feeling cleansed, feeling powerful. Some of the channeled messages that I had were the timing for this pile is the very near future, if not now when you're watching this. This is also a pile that is super deep in its spiritual capacity, or in its ability, it's y'all's ability, everyone who's watching pile 4. It's your ability to hold space for maybe some unconventional woo-wooisms, alien entities, or speaking to the other side, or being connected to other realms. I'm not going to put labels on it because I don't think you're the type that would either. You're comfortable going deep in general. Maybe you're a very intellectual person, a very curious person who really enjoys reading and research and analyzation of things. That is definitely the vibe I'm getting. I also have, research, curiosity won't harm this pile. Curiosity is not going to harm you. This year, you are definitely being called to follow your curiosity. Follow the things that you feel naturally interested in going towards. Many of us have, from past experiences and from the way that other people view certain taboo topics, like like I said, going deep into things that might be a little bit weird or off topic for some people, or off the wall for some people, as far as like aliens or portals or whatever it is, right? Your curiosity is not going to lead you to a place this year that is going to harm you, because you've gained a good measure of your own intuition. You know what feels right and what doesn't, and you're willing to go into the unconventional because it doesn't feel wrong in ways that other people have claimed that it might have felt wrong for them. That's the vibe. So the other thing is there's like an initiation with this pile. Being so deep, there's, for the only pile out of all of the piles that I've done, a connection to the Ascended Masters. And I want to be careful because I'm one that doesn't like to appropriate culture, but I do also believe that every representation of spirituality in every culture is truly just one interpretation, one attempt at communicating something that is universally experienced in their own understanding. And that's why we have so many beautiful perspectives that we can engage in my opinion. And so when I talk about Ascended Masters, for me personally, it's like the woo-woo, like the weirdest that I feel comfortable like solidly being like, I resonate with this concept. There's a lot of different messaging within, if you look up what Ascended Masters are, and only follow that curiosity if it's something that generally resonates with you. But I do feel like there is like a secret level in this pile. There's like, you have access to something that not the normal average person, even the spiritual people, even the like open to ghosts type of people, that you've got the vibe of like, let's say you're into paranormal activity and ghosts and stuff, you go to a haunted place, you're the one that the ghosts always mess with. Like, you're the one that always experiences the glitching, and like, maybe you're not even like truly a believer. Maybe you are like a healthy skeptic to some things, but you just happen to be so open that weird things happen to you. That's kind of some of the messages that I got before we even started the reading. So take what resonates, of course, and leave what doesn't. As always, advice on the internet for spiritual, divination from strangers that you don't know. Good discernment practices. Let's go ahead and obviously, I'm being drawn to tarot. I've done every pile a little differently, but I'm going to do tarot live, like I said in the intro, and we'll go over the oracle cards that I've done in just a minute. So this is the Tarot of the Divine deck. Let's get 3 themes for our pile 4. What are some themes that we are focusing on this year for pile 4? Okay. Bottom of the deck energy is the Queen of Wands. So we are in our power for sure. We are in our energy of ready to get at life and do the things that we want to do. Feeling very connected to that healing energy with this Hermit card right here. We've got like a reindeer and a cloaked figure, but a lot of blue, a lot of like indigo and dark blue themes, which is very peaceful and very tranquil to me. Hermits, the Hermit card can represent and show up in different tarot decks with different interpretations. The main theme of the Hermit card is like coming into a place where you're okay to not be seen by people, and you need time by yourself, for yourself, to focus on being authentic to yourself and your own journey and learning your own path, right? It's kind of like a guru or a like an ascended master, kind of like we were just talking about, a teacher, somebody that would retreat into nature to become as pure as they could in order to come back into society to share the wisdom that they had. This theme is found in almost every single major character in major religions before they make their ministry a thing, before they do their miracles and have the revelations. They have to retreat into nature. We are also in a winter time in the United States where I'm filming this from, and I'm also filming during our winter break. So there's an element of wintering, of retreating, of hibernating, of preserving your resources, right? Or being very selective of your energy. So this is a theme that, like we said with our channeled messages of near future or now, like you are in a space or you are about to be in a space where you feel like it's okay for you to be ducked off. It's okay for you to have your own reality, whether that's your own belief system, your own political beliefs, your own identity, sexuality, faith, religion, all of that. Like, you don't have to share that journey with everybody. And maybe that journey isn't for everybody. Maybe you're not for everybody, right? But we already have that sort of element of like unique, something different about this pile, and that's being reiterated with the Hermit. So that theme of like embracing your uniqueness, embracing your depth, embrace your mission, your journey, your personal steps are going to be different. This person is with a reindeer, and that's pretty darn magical. Like, if I could hang out with a reindeer, that would be really cool. Personally, we've got the Page of Wands here. So the Page of Wands is talking about an opportunity coming your way, somebody being able to, it's a very quick moving energy. It's a very like take action, and you're hearing about this opportunity. Someone's talking to you. You're seeing some sort of new inspiration. You are very likely able to get new inspiration or communication if you're into the woo-woo, if you're into the channeling of going within, being spiritual, asking for divination, doing your rituals with your entities, your deities, and getting messages from that very sacred, secluded path for yourself. Now, if that's not the vibe for you, if you're more along the lines of, I'm an intellectual, I'm pursuing my master's or my doctorate, this is a very lonely path because it requires like an extreme amount of dedication and learning, the Page of Wands represents a new inspiration coming in, a new like, oh, I love this new thing that I found out about. Even if you're an expert, even if you're on this path for a long time, you're going to find something new that inspires you, and it's going to spark something. You're going to feel reinvigorated, even if you are isolated or choosing a path that seems unconventional. You're going to feel like, yes, this is definitely the right path for myself. You're going to make that decision to do that or to stay in that. And then you're going to feel like, absolutely, this is what I need to be doing. And this is why I might even have like a new perspective on a different aspect of this thing that I've been trying to work towards. And then we have the Four of Wands, which this is the card of celebration. There's a little bit of like a wish fulfillment vibe here. Definitely like an engagement, a marriage, a commitment of some sort. So that could be like, maybe it's not you, but maybe it's somebody that you know that's getting married in your family. That means a lot. Also, building of a house or buying a house. This can represent the home, but like I said, it represents stability, foundation, and a celebratory perspective on that. So you will be, by the end of the year, back out in society, back with your loved ones, celebrating in a way that you feel seen and you don't have to feel reclused or isolated or alone or misunderstood or anything that might be the way that you're starting this year. You're going to end this year in being able to celebrate the foundation that you've been able to create by making this space for yourself. and being motivated to continue to do that. So let's go ahead and look at some of our oracle cards. We have Aquarius, which is, some say that we're in the age of Aquarius. Aquarius season is also coming up right after the time that I'm posting this video, if you're watching in real time. And the idea behind Aquarius, or the themes behind astrology in Aquarius, is kind of an emphasis on well-being. Like, how well are you living your life? How well do you feel physically, emotionally fulfilled? The Aquarius is that unique, independent, very open type of a person. So the Hermit, I mean, it goes perfectly with the themes that we've talked about being set apart, having a little bit of a different perspective, an unconventional vibe. That's very Aquarian vibes, very unique, very independent, meaning that, like, you can get what you need without having to go the conventional route. You can figure out how to match yourself to certain resources. You're very resourceful. And like I said, being very open. So that goes with the same vibe of maybe you're a little into the unconventional spiritual choices or religious ideas, or maybe you agree with multiple perspectives and you choose to operate from a multicultural perspective. And there's definitely also, because of the water, like that theme of a renewal of hope, of the future, of there's an emphasis on humanitarianism. So again, coming back out and being able to pour out onto those that you love. That could be resources, that could be relationships, commitments, like I said. And you're going to be able to physically see that and celebrate that. And it's because of the path that you've taken, the unique path that only you could know how to take for yourself. Let's see what else we have. Heighten your vitality. So do you see how, to me, what stands out is this idea of like other realms, other entities, other levels of interacting with reality as far as interdimensional beings or parallel universes, past lives. Like I said, the angelic realm versus the ascended masters, and what does that mean? And do you resonate with multiple ideas at once? Heighten your vitality. I feel like you're going to get more energy. You're going to feel more reinvigorated. This like Page of Wands. And there's some red here as well. The more open you are, the more you lean into this Aquarius Hermit sort of royal unique vibe, the more answers you're going to find, the more connected you're going to feel, the more open that you are. And this can be from multiple sources of physical beings. Like if you are getting your doctorate, for instance, maybe you're able to open your awareness to connect with people and wisdom that's outside of what you're currently just working on within that degree. You're going to be able to expand yourself. Pile 4. So let's see what else we have. Called. Look at this purple. Purple. Soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. Didn't I say initiated for unique gifts? You're being initiated for unique gifts. Like this whole uniqueness, this Aquarius, this amethyst, this Hermit card. You are called to something that only you understand, right? Like I feel like that's a part that you're alone in this portal. Walking through this gateway, this doorway, this threshold, this new choice for your life. And it's time to step up. Like this decision of being a hermit, like I said, if you already aren't in that, where you've just decided to say, F it, I don't really care what other people think of me, I'm just going to go forward and do this thing, whether that's a spiritual journey, going to get a degree, moving to a different city, pursuing a job that you might not normally have taken or haven't done in the past, or whatever that looks like. There's something that you know you have to make a decision on. It's time to step up. If you're not already in this decision and this is confirmation that you've been in that right path and this is where you're walking into, this is the theme for you, is to make that decision. You're called to something. I want to get clarifiers with my spirit animal tarot. And again, if any of these themes resonate with you, there could be deeper messaging. So feel free to go and research further. Even just what are the basic themes with the Hermit, the Page of Wands, the Four of Wands. And you can see multiple interpretations online that might make you feel more connected to this message as well. Maybe studying Aquarius or seeing if you have Aquarius in your chart. So we've got a couple that fell out. The bottom of the deck is the Guardian of Branches. That's the King of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands as our bottom deck energy. So that could be confirmation for somebody about the engagement, the marriage, the couple, the partnership that we got with this Four of Wands. Just take that if it resonates, if that's something that you're looking for. There might be somebody in your energy by the end of the year. This is bottom deck energy, so it could be something that takes a little bit of time to manifest. Again, we have this at the end of the year as well happening here. Our clarifier cards that we have the Three of Fossils. This is working together. This is people that you can trust. This is relationships that are equal, beneficial at the same time. I also really personally resonate with the Three of Pentacles as you working with the divine and your reality. Like it's you, yourself, and I, me, myself, and I. The theme of three, as far as entities of three, there's multiple folklores, belief systems, stories, religions that kind of emphasize an importance of three within spirituality as well. You've got the holistic mind, body, and soul. So I think that for you, because we have the Hermit here, you're focusing on potentially being working within your mind, body, and soul, getting your spiritual life right, getting your physical life right, getting your mental life in a space that you feel comfortable with. And that's why you need to recluse. Because we have the Five of Shells and we have the Two of Fossils. The Five of Shells talks about disappointment, emotional pain. And the Two of Fossils talks about a balancing, doing two things at once, kind of trying to figure out how to multitask, right? So there is a theme about working with people or including too many people on your path. Either has in the past made you feel misunderstood or might make you feel misunderstood in this season of your life. Don't put yourself in a position where you feel like you're having to balance between other people and what they want to be doing in their life and the things that you feel like you're called to do. This is the pile that knows that there's something that they can't escape. Like they will not be satisfied if they don't quit their job and do the thing that they feel called to do. I'm not giving you advice. I'm just saying that's the energy of like, I know what's for me. And you might be in a place where you have been, or there might be themes of you having to really hold space for yourself and not balance yourself between other people's opinions, because it's going to ultimately leave you disappointed, whether those people were disappointing you or you didn't have enough to give yourself in the end because you were worrying about other people at the same time. So there's also a theme here with the Three of Fossils being like you working with, like I said, from a holistic perspective, being able to balance past, because this does have an element of the past pain kind of haunting you, right? And your willingness to work forward and include spirituality in your life. We are the pile that is very deep, that has a lot of connections to potential like channeling of entities or perspectives culturally, like I said. So you might be in a space of kind of and. I love the word and. This, that, and. Because our life and our reality in so many ways is a dualistic this or that, black and white choice. And it doesn't give any sort of leeway for the very real truth of complexity. We are complex as individuals. Morality is complex in and of itself. And there's always a middle path, right? Maybe that could be a resonating idea for some of you who have been interested in the middle path. Perhaps Buddhism or the wheel is interesting to you. But the choice of 3 is making me think of there's a this, there's a that, and there's also an and. There's 3 sides to every story, that kind of a thing. So you're going to be balancing some truths about some past pain, some past disappointment that's hurt you. And that is also going to come from a place of you being able to work on that in that hermit space that you've been making and creating for yourself and that you will continue in this year. So let's go ahead and look at some of these cards that I have as our last sort of messages. This is from a deck that I got from a game that's made for kids at a thrift store. And it has some funny, like it has a character and an action card. And this is used strictly for just symbolic purposes, as well as all spirituality is absurd. All of life is absurd. We all make up our own meaning to life, and that's kind of the definition of absurdity in the first place. So I love to dive deep with some real tarot and oracles, and then I also like to always test the divine. I'm also a pile 4 kind of a person where I'm willing to go anywhere, test anything. I feel pretty safe with my curiosity. I trust myself. So going on all of those themes as I'm talking, we have the courageous coyote. I really feel like you are really ready to make this choice, whatever this choice is that you feel called to do, that requires you to perhaps make some sacrifices, hurt some people's feelings, you know, maybe disappoint some people this time. Maybe you're the one that's going to disappoint your parents because you're choosing to be a dancer instead of an architect or something. You know, I don't know. But you're willing to do it. You're ready to make the choice to be courageous for yourself. The action is rides a bike to a hidden valley. Yeah, I mean, that gives Aquarian vibes. Like choosing your own path. Finding a secret valley that only you know about to vibe in. Like, you are going to find so much on this journey in 2025, Pile 4. You're going to find yourself in an energy at the end of the year where these things, your connections to what you want out of life, your path, what motivates you, what you feel safe in conceptually, relationally, spiritually. You're going to know how to balance or when to put down the other one if it's too much. You're not going to choose disappointment for yourself. And you might disappoint other people, but you are going to find a hidden valley. You're going to be in the 4 of Wands by the end of the year. You're going to follow your calling. And when you step up and you're choosing to do the decisions that might isolate you, might not be what everyone else around you agrees with or has to do themselves or chooses to do. But in the end, you know you are making the right decision for you. You feel that peace about it. You're going to know when to walk away from certain people, when to make those sacrifices, how to honor the sacred space of you pursuing yourself and what you feel is important to you. And you're going to be successful in it. You're going to be so happy. You're going to be celebrating with friends, with loved ones, with your spirit team, with whatever that means to you. Because you're following your true intuition of this Aquarius with this purple, I've got purple, and this amethyst. So I hope that resonated with you. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell if you want to see when more readings are put up. I would love to know if it did resonate with you. Let me know in the comments. If you don't know what to say, you can put a jellyfish emoji or maybe like a shell emoji. So let's do those if you don't know what to say. That way I can connect with you guys in the comment section. This is all that I'm seeing for you guys today. Thank you so much, and I'll see y'all next time.